What's good, everyone? Coach Damien here. Hey, hope y'all are having a wonderful day. It's Friday. It's 2025. If you're watching this, is coming out on January 3rd of the new year. And Happy New Year to all of you, man. I hope y'all had a phenomenal holiday season. Y'all were safe. Y'all had some great time with some friends, some family, some loved ones. You got to enjoy the holidays a bit, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and you had an awesome, amazing New Year's celebration. But now that the holidays are kind of over, right? And I know New Year's resolution is a big thing that people like to focus on at the start of the year. I figured, why don't I give my 2 cents on kind of New Year's resolution and maybe some strategies that you can give yourself, that you can take home to help you accomplish your fitness goals this year, because maybe you told yourself, this is my year last year, and it didn't pan out the way you wanted, but now you're gonna have some awesome tips to pull you up for success, and that way you can go ahead and go out and accomplish what you want. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, as always, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Go ahead and comment below what y'all did over the holidays, what you did for New Year's. Let me know what you did to celebrate. I look forward to reading those. Let's go ahead and get started. So again, talking about New Year's here, I'm gonna be honest with you and take this from someone who's been coaching for a little over 9 years now. New Year's resolutions, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with them. On one hand, some people find them very inspiring, and it's a really good catalyst for them to take action and actually start their goals. For those people, I love it. And of course, selfishly as a coach, this is a time when people are looking to make big changes in their life. And so maybe they find me through social media, or they find me online, like watching a video like this, and I get connected with some amazing people. And so there can be some positives from it. However, on the flip side, because people look at this date, this random day that we all just said is like, hey, this is the start of the year, people use that as an opportunity to try and get active, and ultimately they fail within a couple weeks, and it makes them feel like fitness and wellness is just not for them. They try every year around this time of year, they get a new membership, they buy all the cool gym gear, they maybe get some stuff for the home gym, and before you know it, it's collecting dust, and you've been paying a membership for 10 months and you don't show up, and so you're like, this fitness thing, man, it's not for me, but I'll try again next year. And that cycle just keeps happening again and again and again. So if you're someone who fits into that second category, hopefully this video is going to give you some tips. You're going to understand some of those pitfalls of why people fail in the gym when it comes to their New Year's resolution. And I'm going to give you some tricks, some take-home strategies that you can use to avoid those issues so that you can stay consistent in the gym and hit your health and fitness goals. Now, so like I mentioned, a lot of times people go to the gym, they get all motivated at the beginning of the year, understandably so, right? Everything's new, you have good energy, you have good motivation, you're coming off a holiday, maybe you're well rested, and you're like, you know what? This is my time, let me accomplish my goals. But it's funny enough, we actually have something in the industry called National Quitters Day. And if you never heard about this before, depending on where you read, this is about the second Friday or the second week into the new year, where you have a huge drop-off in participation of going to the gym and being active. In fact, some studies you'll see, like this one here from Strava, they show that after that second Friday, 80% of people that had set a New Year's resolution had fallen off and have failed in trying to accomplish or continue being active after that. And depending on where you read, it's going to say different things, somewhere around the 70 to 90% failure rate after those first couple weeks or so. Regardless of where you read it, those aren't very good statistics in terms of having people do something that is consistent and helping them achieve their goals. So clearly, we got to change our strategy up a little bit. So we're going to go over my top 10 pitfalls for you to avoid and tips and tricks to go along with those, so that way you don't fall victim and become another stat when it comes to National Quitters Day. So let's jump into them. Okay, tip number 1 here, set a realistic goal. I cannot emphasize this enough that goals should definitely challenge you. They should be something that you aspire to, that pushes you, but you don't want to make them so insane that your chance for failure is going to be quite high. Because most people, if the goal is too intense and you don't see results immediately, you're going to want to quit. And if you're unsure exactly how to structure that, just always lean on the conservative side. But I'll give you kind of a couple take-homes. If you're trying to lose weight, a general rule of thumb is lose 1 to 2 pounds per week, right? If you go a little bit more than that, awesome, even better. But if you set up, I'm going to lose, 10 pounds every week for the first 2 months, it's like, that's probably unrealistic, and you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. And so even if you lose a few pounds, you view it as a failure, and then you are not motivated and you don't show up to the gym. Or say you're someone who's like, hey man, I want to be able to be that fitness person. I want to be someone who goes to the gym all the time. I want to be that dude who's always jacked, or that chick that looks really, really good in the gym. And so I'm going to go 6 days a week. Well, you can work up to that, but if you try and go 6 days a week, maybe you do that for the first 2 weeks of the year, and before you know it, you're tired as hell, your spouse is yelling at you because you're never home anymore, and you're just like, this is stupid, right? So maybe start with going twice a week, work up to 3 times a week, and then before you know, you'll be going a lot more consistently, not trying to do 6 days all at once because that's a bit unrealistic. Tip number 2 is not tracking your progress. Now, this is a bit of a double-edged sword, so you got to know yourself a little bit here. What do I mean by that? Let's use weight loss as an example. If you're someone where the scale kind of gives you a lot of anxiety, it doesn't motivate you, I always try to recommend to weigh yourself, but maybe the first couple of weeks or first month, maybe you just focus on showing up because that is going to help you and not make you overly anxious if you have a bad weigh-in, right? But if you're someone who the scale doesn't bother them, or measuring their body fat, or tracking their energy levels on an app, or having some way to track your progress, if that's something you can consistently do it. Because what progress can do is, as long as you're being consistent, you're probably going to see some benefit of some kind. And so if you track it over time, you have something to hold you accountable. You have some proof to show that what I'm doing is working. And that just further fuels you, that further motivates you, versus if you're not tracking anything and you don't have any specific goal, well then, what are you working out for? Even if it's for general health or general well-being, there's ways you can track that. Like, how's my energy? How's my mood? Am I sleeping better? Am I stronger, right? These are all things that you can kind of track in a more vague manner, but at least it's better than doing nothing and then just saying, oh, well, I don't even know why I'm working out anymore, so why even show up to the gym? Another one, and for some of you, I guarantee this is going to be your number one, is not having a support system. Friends, family, loved ones, right? These are all great things. Even if, maybe you don't have too many people close by, even having like a virtual community, this is something that can really, really be motivating for you. Going to the gym by yourself, it's the first week or 2 of January, it's chaos in there. Every person is touching every dumbbell. There's people grunting. Gym is a weird spot if you're not used to it. And you're like, ooh, I don't know if this is for me if I'm by myself. So it can be very anxiety driving. But if you got a friend, someone to, motivate you, someone to make you laugh, someone who gets you, maybe someone who has similar goals to you that you can push and hold accountable, that's going to be super beneficial. Even if they can't go to the gym with you at the same time, maybe someone that you can message or call to talk about your progress. If maybe your family buys in, maybe you're all trying to lose weight, and so you start doing some meal planning, or if you join like an online community using like a Strava or a Fitbit, or maybe you find a local community like a run club, something that is going to build that sense of community, because then it ultimately holds you more accountable. Heck, even if you need a coach to help you out, sometimes that is all the support system that you need. A lot of times people just need that coach for the accountability, or someone to lean on, so they don't feel like they're doing everything by themselves. This is where a coach or a personal trainer can really come in and kind of help take your fitness to the next level. Tip number 4, trying to do too much, right? Don't overdo it. Again, I know it's very motivating those first couple of weeks, right? You want to go, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm going to do my strength training. I'm going to do my cardio. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to sleep 20 hours a day. You're going to do all that somehow in a regular day, even though you have a job and kids and other responsibilities. And again, that's not realistic. That's doing too much. Start small, right? Because even if you do a lot over a couple of weeks, if you end up failing and not sticking with it, it doesn't mean anything. This is a marathon, right? We're trying to build long-term healthy habits. We're not trying to sprint and kind of just crush ourselves into the ground by changing 50 things. That is too much. That's too unrealistic. So start by going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week versus 6. Maybe instead of doing weights and cardio on the same day, maybe alternate between weights and cardio. And another big secret, all your workouts don't have to be at the gym. Thinking that I have to go to the gym every single day because I'm paying for this membership. No, you don't. If it makes it too hard to go frequently to the gym, you can work out at home. You can do body weight workouts. You can do cardio. You have to make it so that way it is not overwhelming for you, so then you'll be more motivated to go. My next one is don't make things too inconvenient for yourself. Let me give you an example, right? You're driving to work from my South Floridians, driving on I-95, right? Down in Broward or Palm Beach County. And you're using, Google Maps, because if you don't, your, drive could be either 20 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes, depending on where you're going. Well, if you see that there's a certain road that has accidents and 30 police cars that are definitely radaring people to give them tickets, and you see that there was a shooting going on, well, you're probably not going to take that road, right? You're going to find a detour route that has less barriers, less obstacles, so you can get to your destination faster and more efficiently. Well, why wouldn't your workout be the same way? Don't put up so many barriers and remove the ones you can. That makes it easy for you to show up and go to the gym or be active. So some examples of that: always have a couple pairs of workout clothes in your car. Have a couple pairs of workout shoes if you can in your car. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients or people I know say, I don't have clothes or I don't have shoes. It's like, always have a pair with you. That way it makes it that much easier. If you think you forgot it, you always have it with you. Try your best to maybe have your meals with you. So that way, let's say you don't have like snack and a lunch at work. If you don't have that, you're not going to be very motivated to go to the gym if you're starving. So making sure that you have food prepped that can come with you. If you are doing meal prep, maybe doing it at a time that makes sense for you. Sunday night, Friday night, Saturday morning, so you're not scrambling throughout the week. If you don't have time to meal prep, like myself, maybe find a meal prep service that is affordable for you. I use Ideal Nutrition. It's down in South Florida in Palm Beach, Dade County, and Broward. Basically, the meals are about $7 each, so I use it for my lunch. The time it would take me to go grocery shop to cook and organize it, and it's not going to taste as good, I just kind of offshoot that time and let them take care of it. So find ways to better organize your time, make things more efficient, and just remove those barriers so that way you can just focus on working out and not thinking about anything else. My next one is lack of immediate results. I'm gonna get real with you people here for a minute, okay? Fitness is not Amazon Prime, all right? You don't get to just order it and 2 days later, free shipping, it arrives at your door, right? That's not how fitness works. Fitness is a long-term thing. Yes, you should see some good benefits within about a couple of weeks, but to think that you're gonna see these amazing supercellular changes within a week or two is unrealistic. And if someone tells you that, respectfully, it's a bit of a lie. Can you see progress in the first month or so of training? Absolutely. If you're trying to lose weight, you can lose about 8 pounds plus in a month, which you may notice a little bit. But to think after a week of working out that you're gonna automatically feel your clothes different and look different, that's not the case. So having a better realistic timeline of results is gonna be key, and understanding that giving yourself a little bit more time. I always tell people the first 2 weeks of a new fitness journey, it does kind of suck a little bit, to keep it real with you, where like you're gonna feel a bit more tired, you're gonna be a bit more sore, and you're not gonna sleep as well. But I say right around that 3rd week mark, you start feeling better. 4 weeks, people notice little changes. 2 months in, you start noticing a little bit. And within 3 months, you should see some really significant changes in your body, in your strength, in your mental. All things start going well. Give yourself 90 days. That's really fast. I think that's just January, February. By the end of March, you'll see some amazing changes, whatever fitness goal you have. Don't expect it to happen in 2 weeks. My next one is doing stuff that is boring. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to working out. Some people like things to be super structured and have small changes week to week. If that's you, awesome. Keep doing those small things that work. But if you're someone who's like, man, I get so bored of doing the same thing every single week for multiple months, well, change it up. Even if it's not the most practical or the most scientifically based thing possible, you being active and doing different stuff is gonna be much better than you just doing boring stuff to where you give up and then don't want to do it on a consistent basis. So how does that look practically? Well, let's say you like to work out 3 times a week and you do full body. Change out the exercise every couple of weeks completely so you get to work the muscles a little bit different and you get to try new machines or new movement patterns, so that way it kind of has some novelty to it. If you change the structure, you go from doing 1 exercise at a time, doing 2 exercises back to back, doing supersets, or doing circuits, 3 or more exercises back to back. If you're someone who's like, dude, I hate cardio, it's boring as hell, I'm not sitting on the treadmill for an hour, you can do elliptical, bike, rower, or get out of the gym and do something different. You can swim, you can play sports, right? You can do basketball, soccer, walking your dog. Find something that gets you excited, that doesn't bore you, so you want to consistently go more often than not. Tip number 8 is don't press the fuck it button, right? Don't have the all or nothing mindset. If you've been on my channel before, you definitely have heard me use this term before. What do I mean by that? Let's say you've been doing well for a couple weeks, you've been showing up to the gym consistently, you got your diet on point now, you're sleeping better, like you're doing 3 or 4 things really well, and you have one shitty day, which you know is coming, right? You woke up a little later than you wanted to, you got in really bad traffic, work was a bitch, and then you're like, I'm not even gonna go to the gym today, and you skip one day. And then you take that one little thing, even though you did so well these 3 weeks or so, and you're like, you know what? This is stupid. This fitness thing, it ain't cut out for me. That is not true. I always tell my clients, whether it's with showing up to the gym, whether it's tracking their diet, consistency over perfection. You being consistent 80, 90+% of the time is going to be much better than being perfect a few times here and there. Consistency is what leads to ultimate results for every goal, every single goal that you could think about. So don't worry about being perfect. And when you mess things up, which you are going to mess up, you're never going to be perfect all the time. Do not press that fucking button. Tip number 9, and this one I feel like people might do unconsciously, is don't do unrealistic comparisons. If you're showing up in the gym for the first time, you're going to see a lot of people like you that are starting, but you're also going to see a lot of veterans, people who have been working out for years, if not decades. You're going to see personal trainers who it's their job to be somewhat fit. If you go in week 1, day 1, or a couple weeks in and start looking at people like, wow, man, I do not look like these people, you're going to demotivate yourself. Now, I know there's some people that maybe they look at others and do get inspired. If that's you, that's great. But don't look at people and say, man, I don't deserve to be here because I don't look like them. And I know there's also, too, this goes to another conversation. I know there's a lot of like memes online and there's a lot of jokes about like, the gym is going to suck now. There's a lot of new people. And it's true, it's busy. But know that the gym is your space just as much as anyone else's. Just because you're new, just because you're not in as good a shape and you haven't been there as long, doesn't make it any less of your gym than someone else's. And don't let other people tell you otherwise. You're in there to make yourself better. You're honestly the person who should be there the most and should be encouraged to go there. But you have to remove the comparison aspect to be as comfortable as possible to push yourself in the gym. So try your best to just focus on yourself. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. That's going to be my piece of advice for you. And my 10th and final tip is going to be lack of time management. Again, during the holidays, maybe it was a little bit easier for you to manage your time because maybe you could sleep in more, maybe you're on vacation, maybe the kids were away at camp or something, but now you're back to a routine schedule and you're adding this additional thing or two that you're trying to do, can really mess up your time management. You have to sit down and be realistic about how can I kind of move my time to best serve me. What does that mean? You do not need to be in the gym for 90 minutes. You can do your workouts for 30, 45, or 60 minutes max and have awesome results. You don't have to go to the gym at a particular time. You can go at a time that works best for you. And also too, you may need to cut out some things in your current life in doses in order to make room for this new habit you're trying to build. If you're someone who watches Netflix or plays video games 2 or 3 hours a day, there's nothing wrong with watching Netflix or playing video games, but can you cut that down by 45 minutes to an hour so you can still enjoy yourself a little bit after work, but also do something good for your body and for your mind, right? Find small ways to manage your time a little bit better that works for you, and ultimately you're going to be more consistent throughout. And that's it, everyone. Again, those are 10 major pitfalls that you might notice as you're starting your fitness journey here. I hope y'all can take some of these, take some of the advice I give them. And if you notice those things start creeping into your routine, try your best to work around them. Try and use some of these tips and strategies to overcome those barriers so that way you can stay consistent. And again, so you're not just another statistic of National Quitters Day here in about a week or two. And if y'all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you're looking for some support and you want to coach and you're down here in the South Florida area, I'd love to do a free training session for you. Just go ahead to my website, click any of those take action buttons. I'll get in contact with you ASAP so we can come train at Johnny O's. And if you're not in South Florida, I can train you virtually as well. Again, just click that form, go ahead, fill it out, and we'll get in contact. Check out the daily socials. Y'all know I'm always putting out awesome content for all of you to make your life better, live a happy, more fulfilling life. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Later.